What's up, y'all out there in internet land? Welcome to another episode of I'm Coming Out. I am Robin Fierce, and today we have my sister. She is gagging you a bit for sure. Give it up for Luxx Noir London.
Hi, Robin.
Hi, sister. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen you in person.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time we actually were in person together.
I guess I need to take a trip down to Jersey to see you soon.
Maybe so.
But in the meantime, I want to know really quick for the people, how did you come out?
So I was in my college dorm room. I think this was 2018, and I called my parents, and I was just like, "This is the tea," and they were like, "Okay, work. We love you," and that was that.
That's it? I love that.
It's not
Okay.
like coming out wasn't like super like it wasn't like this monumental like thing. It was just like this is the tea.
I feel like that's how it should be though. Like everybody has all this like angst and stuff and parents have their whole like big reactions sometimes. I feel like you just say it, you move on, and that's it.
I'm kind of like at the moment, and I when I did it, I was like, I feel like I didn't have like I shouldn't have had to do that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like against coming out. I don't think that you should have to like announce your sexual identity to anybody
Yeah.
who is not sexually intimate with you.
But I felt that way too. Like I literally was like I didn't come out to my family for probably like a year or so until after cuz I was just like why do I even have to do this? Like my siblings didn't do it. I shouldn't have to. I'm just living my life. I'm happy, and that should be all that matters. Do you think that your family like already knew you were gay pretty much, and that's why they were just like, okay,
There was like no hiding it. I mean, they weren't just like, okay, whatever. Like they definitely were like, after I came out, they were like, "Are you sure?" And then
not are you sure?
they were like, just because you like all of this like feminine stuff doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that like you have to be gay. And I was like, no, I like boys. And they were like,
Yeah.
okay, well, just be safe.
They are more afraid for our safety sometimes than they are like mad that we're gay. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
But they just say it in such a weird and visceral and kind of like sometimes traumatic way.
yeah. And especially like around like where I like kind of grew up, it was a like not necessarily like a sexual safety thing, but a lot of time like a physical safety thing.
Yeah.
They were like, we just don't want you to like get hurt. And I'm like, baby, if I came out or not, I was still wearing the same stuff I was
Right.
when I came out. Is like everybody like knew I was like kind of flaming.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a little I was like, okay, weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, coming out as gay was fine.
Did you ever have any issues with people like growing up around like thinking you were gay or like making fun of you and stuff like that?
Oh, boots for sure. Like my entire life, kind of. It was always something. It was always a comment. It was always a don't walk like this. Don't hold your hand like that. Don't
Mm-hmm.
play with this. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, you're gay. That's gay. This that.
Did you get the is there sugar in your tank?
Girl, boots. Girl, my tank. There isn't just sugar in my tank. My tank is only sugar.
Exactly.
So it's like everywhere I went, every like person who I encountered was always like, "You're gay." And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay, work. Well, not okay, work, but like I was like weird, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like tell my parents, and they'd be like, like however you are is like perfectly fine. Like they were just like, oh, like like everybody's just mad at you, like because like they're jealous and like you're like great and whatever. So that was fun. But then kind of that started to like take a back seat, like
Mm-hmm.
when I started getting like older, and
Yeah.
they were like, okay, you're like gonna be more out into the world, it's a little you got to cut that out a little bit.
You know, I watch you like interact in the world and interact online, and granted, it's not the same thing now, but how you handle yourself when people come for you is one entertaining as hell, but also like I feel like is a great example for some people. Like, how do you deal with people like sending you hate or bullying you, whether you're this famous person or just a kid growing up?
Something that RuPaul says, which the first time I heard it, it stuck with me forever. people's opinions of you are none of your business.
Mhm.
People are always going to have something to say about someone, whether it's positive or negative. So I kind of just mentally turn into, well, they're talking about me, so I must be doing something right. It could be
Mhm.
worse. They could not be talking about me at all. And kind of the whole point of what I'm doing is to have people talking about me.
That part.
So it's kind of like, it is what it is. And most of the time when I clap back, it's never because like I'm mad or I'm upset. It's just
Mhm.
because I like know that I have like a really fierce comeback and
Yeah.
I like to argue a little bit.
As someone who has been on the other end of that, you like to argue, I know this for a fact. She is not playing. She
Don't even
is
start.
not playing. Oh, girl. What do you mean don't start? You are the argue queen.
I don't argue. I like to settle.
You like to settle. Okay. In another life, you could have been a whole ass lawyer, girl.
I don't think I could. That's too much school. I dropped out of
Well,
college.
well. And I didn't even go to college, so high five to you, virtually, bitch.
College was a complete waste of time. I mean, no, it wasn't. If I didn't go to college, I probably wouldn't have started. I would have started drag, but it wouldn't have happened the way it happened. I wouldn't have met my boyfriend. I wouldn't have met my friends.
Mhm.
Like, if I didn't go to college, like coming out would have been completely different because I probably would have been surrounded by completely different people who
Yeah.
like the people I was around really like encouraged me, like just do it. If
Mhm.
they don't fuck with you after this, like we still do. So
Right.
it was like okay, work.
Did you go to a performing arts college as well?
I went to a performing arts middle and high school, but I went
Mm-hmm.
to a regular like college, but I studied musical theater.
Which is apparent in like everything you do. Not in like a you're like a this show tunesy kind of person, but like you sing, you dance, you act, like you are just so what more than a triple threat.
I don't ever want my drag to be like one thing.
Yeah.
I want it to be everything. I don't really necessarily all the time see myself as a drag queen. I kind of
Hmm.
just see myself as like an entity or like a
Yeah.
thing.
I love that. I feel like some of the best performers, whatever it is that they do, it is that you are literally just an entity. Beyonce, an entity. And I feel like if you can encapsulate that, it's amazing.
People like never say, "Oh, Beyonce the singer." She's just
Yeah.
Beyonce.
And I feel like you have mastered being that entity. For people out there who are struggling to do their art or like getting in their own way, how do you get out of your way to just do the thing, to be the entity?
You can't be afraid of failure, but you
Mm-hmm.
also can't be afraid of success. You have to realize that what you're doing, you could fail, but also you have to be ready to have this go somewhere beyond what you are thinking of. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people I feel either get famous by accident
Mm-hmm.
or get famous very intentionally. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that everything that I do is very intentional and is a stepping stool to the bigger picture. Um, and I don't do anything, nothing that I do is not by accident. I don't do anything by chance. Everything is very calculated because
Mm-hmm.
I've studied it and I know exactly what I want to do. I think a lot of people probably just think, oh, Lux just like tweets whatever and like she just like doesn't like think before she responds to somebody. Oh, I think it through. And I know exactly what people are going to think about what I have to say most of the time. And I
Mm-hmm.
say it because I either know that it's going to ruffle some feathers or I say it because it's how I feel. I want Lux to represent um someone who is not afraid to say how they feel. I think a lot of times people think that vulnerability is just like being sad or like crying, but I show vulnerability most of the time by literally just being honest.
That is honestly what I love about you is like your fearlessness and the way that your brain works. You are calculated in the best way and so prepared for like any and all things that come your way. And I think that that is a mark of an amazing performer and talent. Like even sometimes me, because I like to think that I am a great performer. I am a great drag queen.
You are
But
though.
especially with like, well, thank you, and that's the thing too. When Lux gives you a compliment, you know it's true because she don't just be doling these things out to everybody, okay? So, with that being said, especially post Drag Race, like, how important social media is and branding and all that stuff. Like, I will look to you and the twins and like the girls that are good at this stuff and be like, wow, these people are so smart, but they don't even get the credit for that. Like, social media is its own job and monster and skill, and that is something that you have that I love, which has nothing to do with coming out, but just singing your praises because you know I love you, bitch.
Thank you. I love you too.
Kind of related to your ability to be fearless, one thing that I notice about you is your amazing ability to be able to play. No matter where you are, what it is, you walk into a room and it is Luxx's playground. How do you keep that ability that I feel like a lot of us lose as we grow up?
You kind of just have to lose the idea of humiliation or like
Mm,
making a fool of yourself. I think that like humiliation is something that is a social construct, as like a lot of things are. So if you just go into a room and like be yourself and like joke around, um, if something like does not happen and like it gets awkward, that's just like how conversation is sometimes. You can't like beat
mhm,
yourself up if you slip up and do something that is a little silly or people don't really like gravitate towards it. You kind of just gotta
mhm.
like go in and have fun. And I like to have
Yeah.
fun.
Lux, before I let you go, do you have any advice for the people out there who are struggling to come out and just be able to be fearless and playful and just 100% themselves?
I do. I want you to look in the mirror every morning and tell yourself, I am going to be the most important person that walks into every room I walk into. And that doesn't mean that you're better than everybody. It doesn't mean that you are superior to anyone. It just means that you are the most important person to you in the room.
Mhm.
Because being important to yourself and showing yourself that you care about yourself is very important.
Thank you, Lux, so much for coming and sharing with us your coming out story. I want y'all to go out there and be fearless and be fierce. And I'll see you maybe in the next episode of I'm Coming Out. Bye.
Bye.